if I told you I found you a perfect match? Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Welcome to A Perfect Match, where today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 10. I am one of your hosts, Jason Reed, and with me is my co-host, Aysha Welch, and a special guest. Which dog is this?
Can we be mindful here? Okay, this is my child, one of my children.
Okay,
let's just be a little bit more mindful. Okay,
I am. I'm trying to be. That's my job. That's my job. Okay.
Okay.
So which of your lovely children is this?
So this is Cinnamon. Okay.
All right. Cinnamon. How's life with Aysha? How are things going?
Okay. Cinnamon. He's trying to ask you about how life is.
Aysha.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Cinnamon.
I hear you.
I hear you. Cinnamon right now.
Listen, this is my daughter. I'm trying to protect her. Okay.
Cinnamon can speak for herself, Aysha. Okay.
No, I know what every expression she makes means.
Now, Cinnamon,
I know exactly what that means.
Cinnamon, you're looking away a lot. What is that? What exactly does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say when you're looking away?
She's just thinking.
Oh, okay. Is that true, Cinnamon?
Did you just say you're frustrated? What? Girl, it's okay. I'm your mom.
Aysha, I think you need intensive therapy.
I don't think so.
To maybe get over this intense feelings over dogs.
Listen, I have a strong support system.
At least you have feelings for your dogs.
I talk to myself. I meditate. I do some self-reflecting. I have a great support system. I don't know what you're talking about, okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, at least you have the feelings for the dogs, okay? You feel something for them.
Oh, yes. I have lots and lots of feelings. It's like when they're bad, I'm like, I have no feelings. I don't know, but...
Oh, man. This episode,
if you haven't seen this episode, you're probably rather confused.
Yes, of course. And if you haven't seen the episode, probably just go to the Afterparty. That's where the real show is taking place. That's where we find out the real information.
Right. Yeah, Afterparty this week was I was like, oh my gosh, are you on camera?
Is this live? Are you recording this?
This is ridiculous. But yeah, we are here to talk about episode 10, believe it or not. I keep saying that every week, but I just feel like the season's kind of flying by. And I wouldn't be mad if the finale was episode 15. So
yeah, things aren't going great for our couples here. not a one of them, really.
Either one.
Yeah. I just love that they all got together. It was like, wow, this all really sucks for all of us, huh?
Isn't it great that we're all suffering?
This is just terrible, right?
Isn't it awesome that we're all crying? Oh my goodness. What? I don't know what now I can kind of see the delay. You know, maybe there was a reason for it. Maybe there was like, we really got to pull something out of this season. Or even maybe there was even conversations of, do we even release this at all? Is it worth it? Can this be on the cutting room floor? You know, this could have, I don't know. They could have just dropped this.
I think I'm higher on the episode than you are. I thought there was some entertaining bits here for sure. But some of it was just kind of retreading the same information. But I do think we had enough here to justify having an episode.
Yes. To justify having an episode. My feelings more so, I will say, are skewed by the still to come preview we got. And just seeing things just feel a little bleak. Like, where's the happy story? Where's the Nicole and Chris? Where's the Woody and Amani? Where are these people?
I mean, it's supposed to be Austin and Becca, but Austin keep playing in our faces. Like, you do it.
That's not my story. So, yeah, I'm very concerned about the direction of this season and what it means for future seasons, because I don't know. It's just not. We leave every episode like, man, that was rough for this one couple. And then some episodes it's multiple couples. Just like, get it together.
Get it together. But I feel like I honestly I don't feel like that's anything new though. I feel like that's what Married at First Sight is recently.
I don't know. At least we're like, I do rely on the breath of fresh air couples where it's like, okay, at least things are great for them. We don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about our solid fives.
I still think that's Austin and Becca for the most part. But I think the more to come has really opened eyes about the future of them possibly. But remember, folks, this is MAFS editing, so we don't really know what's coming.
Right, like the scene of him carrying his clothes, he's going to do laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
he's not moving out.
Hey man, put a load in. You got anything you want to add?
Right. Yeah.
And not, I'm carrying my stuff back to my house. I'm out of here.
What, wasn't he the one that doesn't do laundry that often?
Yeah, he does like once a month.
Right. That's his one time during the experiment that he was doing laundry. They got him. But yes, we're so happy that y'all are here. We're going to talk about it. Please forgive us for being a day late. Just as you approach Christmas, there are only so many hours in the day.
The socialite Asia had more Christmas parties to attend.
It was fun, by the way. We went to this restaurant in Houston called Grace's. If you haven't been, the food was amazing. I got the beef stroganoff, and it was me and my sorority sisters, and we did like a gift exchange. It was really fun.
What'd you get?
So I walked away with these glass cups with a bamboo top and like a glass straw. They're all the rage on TikTok right now. Of
course.
The girlies like to make iced coffee in them.
You did not just say the girlies. Gosh. Oh boy.
But anywho, yes. So forgive us for being a day late, but make sure you go subscribe to our podcast. Go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. That's where you can get all the podcasts about Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, The Show Perfect Match, and leave us a 5-star rating and review. We would really appreciate it. We want to give a formal apology. Okay. There have been a couple weeks without reviews. And then we learned right after we said it last week that there was just an issue with Apple Podcasts and we got a flood of reviews. So we'll be going through them over the next episodes.
We definitely have enough to last us for a while. Were we panicking for 2 straight weeks so we had no reviews? Maybe. Have we peaked? Is this it? Are we done? But yeah, like the day after we as one-star reviewer claims, we begged for 5-star reviews. The next day I checked, and we had new ones that were backdated from the last few weeks. So y'all had been leaving reviews, but Apple just wasn't showing them to us. So
we're gonna hold on to this.
Yeah, we're gonna make you
until y'all shout us out.
Yeah, so we apologize. For our our oversight. Some of y'all left reviews probably like, I left a review and they're not saying it. They're not seeing it, but we got them now, and we appreciate all of you for heeding the call and coming in and giving us more and more reviews, because we were asking for them like, hey, what's going on? Like, what's up? And you guys responded by filling our Apple podcast with lovely reviews. So we love that we're so supported by the listeners. When they hear the call, they come and respond. Yeah,
it was a nice little Christmas gift.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll shout out a couple. So we have one from Amy M. It says, you don't have to watch the show. It says, the biggest blessing of this podcast is you don't have to suffer through the old seasons of MAFS episodes to get caught up. So many commercials on Lifetime and much filler. This podcast does all the work for you, and it's very enjoyable to hear Aysha and Jason's perspectives. They are very detailed and funny.
Nice.
I think that's the one you said you were going to do. I just realized that I read it.
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. The second one I'll do is from SHCCID. Yeah. It says Orion and Lauren struggling the most. What was the full title?
Orion and Lauren struggling the most this early on was not on my bingo card is the title of the review.
Right. So, how have I not tuned into this recap prior to the season? I've only listened to the podcast and enjoyed both hosts' voices, but especially Asia's. The
Oh,
couple.
excuse
Hey,
me.
that's a new one.
That is new.
Do I sound like Michelle Obama? The couples this season really had me believing in love at first sight. Child, yeah, sorry, I didn't read that right.
Not your voice messing up her review.
I know. The couples this season really had me believing in love at first sight. Love at first sight, child. We were all rooting for you, Orion. The women this season are all very likable, though. You can stream the season for free on the Lifetime app for anyone wanting to tune in. The after show requires you to sign in to watch, though. So I appreciate y'all including content in your recaps from those as well. Keep it up.
Oh, complimentary and informative. Look at that.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna do a couple. One interesting one. The first one I'm gonna do is entitled "Better Than the Show." It's from Bloom ACU. Just says, "I look forward to listening every week. Aysha and Jason are the best. 10 out of 10 would recommend." Thank you so much, Bloom ACU. Now this second one. I got a bone to pick. Okay, the title is "This is a 5-star podcast." Now, the actual rating is 4 stars, and you're going to find out why in a second. It says, "I am holding the 5th star hostage for a shout out or a really funny bit involving me on the next episode. Y'all are more entertaining than MAFS. I only follow it to listen to the pod." Now, listen here, Rob with 1B. We're not going to do this, okay? Yes, did your manipulation work?
Absolutely, on Jason.
It definitely did. But let's not start a trend here, y'all. Okay? It's not funny. It's not cute. All right. Do I want my stars? Yeah, I want my stars. So I succumbed to your little peer pressure, and I did your little review on the show. But let's not start this thing, okay? Let's give all of our stars as soon as we can. Okay? All right.
Yeah.
Rob with 1B, I hope you're happy. Okay, you got your little shout out on the show.
There we go. So we appreciate y'all so much. We'll be working through those. So if you left a review, we will be shouting it out on a future episode if this season doesn't like abruptly end.
Would you be shocked if they were just like, you know what, y'all? Everyone's decision day is in a week. Figure your stuff out because we're ending this now. We're cutting the cord.
I would not be
We
shocked.
just ended in a month.
Yeah,
like, okay,
if we
I guess I got some time off.
2 couples are on like actual shaky ground, like literally, like it's not like, oh no, they're just maybe a potential no. No, they're literally on the verge of breaking up any day.
One of them is literally threatening to quit this episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But look, if you enjoy talking about Married at First Sight, come join our Facebook group. You can find us on Facebook at A Perfect Match Podcast. We have a great time in there talking about the episodes while they're on. This week, the password to join that Facebook group is
Mastication. It is mastication, y'all. Do not put any other like words that sound like that as the password. Okay, it's mastication,
which means chewing.
Yeah, mastication.
Claire said, "Why wouldn't you just say chewing?"
She has had enough of this man.
It's like, I wanted to use a big word.
I really wanted to use a big word. Yes. So mastication is the password.
Yes. So go join us, put that word in, agree to the group rules, and then you can come in and join the 700 plus people that are having a great time talking about Married at First Sight every week. Jason.
Yeah.
Which couple do you want to start with?
Yeah. Enough with the fat. Okay. Let's get to the actual episode.
Let's stretch it one more minute.
Yeah. Let's as someone told us in a 1-star review, got to cut the fat. We love the fat over here, and it's what makes our podcast unique. So we enjoy the extra stuff. I hope y'all do too. Anyway, enough of my ranting. Emily and Brennan is where we're going to start this episode. Oh boy. Okay, so we start off with he's making breakfast. This is the day right after the whole 2 Emily's friends come after Brennan at the party. She says, sorry again for last night. It's not how I wanted our first fun night to go. He says, oh, well, I'm not going to take it too personally. I wish I could have done things differently, but I didn't want to come off as offensive. But I need to stand up for myself and this marriage. Cut out the marriage part. You want to stand up for yourself.
You're right.
Not the marriage. You care less about this marriage, obviously. She tells him, listen, I'm always going to take your side. I didn't tell them any of that other stuff. They definitely crossed the line. Now, Emily, okay, you definitely told us some stuff.
She's going a little overboard here. just stick to it. I don't understand what's wrong with sharing with your friends how this you were married at first sight. Okay, that's not a normal situation where you're just telling your friends all the details of your like regular marriage.
Yeah,
you're telling them about your experience.
Stand on your business, Emily.
There you go.
Stand on business. Did I use that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. And she also is like, I'm always going to take your side. You shouldn't do that. Like, okay, I understand you're married and people that are married are like, I'm always going to take your side. Yeah, you also got to check your significant other when they're wrong sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's, which I probably am going to talk about a lot during this segment, is a little thing called accountability. And a lot of people do not like being held accountable when they're this stubborn. So, yeah, I think you do need a partner that's going to hold you accountable when you're wrong.
Yep.
So
now listen, I mean, when you're in public and you like talk in front of other people, you kind of got to act like you got each other's back. When y'all are probably like, well, listen now,
you're like,
I know I said this in public, but that was crazy. Like,
right.
But yeah, she continues to say things like, it sucks because they're a reflection of me and I don't want you to think of me like that. He's like, well, I'm not really gonna hold it against you or think less of you for it. It was just one off night. I can forgive and forget.
What do you think her friends are gonna think when they see that?
Because she said, I had my best friends at the wedding. So was this an implication that these were not her best friends? These are
the B team.
These are second tier friends. So don't hold them to my standard. They were second tier friends that you had never met. So if I was her friend, I'm like, oh, okay, I see where I am in the hierarchy of friends.
With the way that they acted too, it seems like these friends are a little bit more protective of Emily than the first batch.
Yeah, that friend at the wedding would have been talking ish right with Brennan at the party. Like, yeah, doesn't she suck?
They're like, yeah, doesn't she talk about feelings too much? Ugh.
Now you see why we don't like her.
I wouldn't want to live with her either.
Here's my number. Call me. So we can talk about Emily some more.
That's season 10.
Yeah, that definitely happened. So next up, they go to like a Pilates class, a little Pilates studio. It's something that Emily apparently does a lot. So she came in, she's talking about, yeah, this day's been so great. We spent all day together, and now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have fun. They do a little Pilates class, and Brennan's struggling a little bit.
It's hard. Pilates with those reformers are like, when I went to my first Pilates class with the reformer setup, was like, they did not treat it as if it was our first class. It was a few of us we told her, this is our first time doing this. And she was just, all right, move here and then back and then this and then we just had to like watch everybody else to see what we were supposed to do. So yes.
What is a reformer?
It's the black thing that where they were standing on, and it like moves, and you can do a lot on it.
I'd have walked in there and be like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I just want to walk right out. So I give Brennan a little credit for doing this. But this really seems to go well. It seems that they are kind of connecting over this. It was a nice little outcome here. They had fun.
Mm-hmm. They need a little fun in their life.
Yeah. So we get to now a group scene where all of the couples have come together, as MAFS likes to do. I think they've done it probably less than most seasons. I feel like by this time, every season, we've gotten together at least 3 times, outside of the honeymoon. But everyone's getting together.
Is this their first time since the honeymoon?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, so everyone comes together. Of course, the 3 couples that are definitely still together right now get there first, and they're all like, "Hey, what's going on with Lauren and Orion? Anyone heard anything? Have they moved in?" Let's be, come on, y'all know the deal. Y'all know the tea. Come on, why are y'all lying to us? Why are you lying to our face right now? Acting like y'all don't know what's going on.
Remember what Brennan's they are playing a role.
Yeah,
it was in the script.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys go in. You act like you don't know what's going on with Lauren or Orion. So
act like y'all don't have their numbers.
Yeah, so act like there's not a group text.
Right.
So yeah, they act like they don't know what's going on. But we'll get into the Lauren and Orion of it all when we get to their segment. But in this little group meeting, everyone kind of spills their guts about everything. Brennan tells the rest of the group about Emily's friends grilling him at the little party, and says, yeah, me and Emily have had a lot of bumps, and we're not really at the romantic part of our relationship yet. And I just wanted to be open with all of you about us since the honeymoon, because I know you guys saw us at the honeymoon. It was like they're really getting along well, but a lot of things have changed since then. Okay, all right.
He's like, just so y'all are clear.
Yeah, I did not like this girl.
Yeah.
I do not like her.
It's like, good Lord.
So after the whole group meeting, there's this weird split up where Emily and Becca meet up in one of their apartments, and Austin and Brennan meet up in one of their apartments. So that was a weird breakout group.
Well, because like the friends are Claire and Lauren. And so maybe it was like, maybe they did film and it just wasn't going to add to any of the story.
Yeah, and I remember in one of the after parties, like a couple episodes ago, after Emily was crying because Brennan didn't find her attractive. She's like, "Yeah, he saw me crying and he just went and hung out with Austin." So maybe they're already good friends. So maybe that just made sense. But Emily and Becca do sit down and talk, and Emily tells Becca that yeah, he's really shutting me out. He's not telling me anything about the whole physical attraction thing. And Becca's like, "Girl, he's attracted to you. There's something else that he doesn't even know what's going on with himself." She's like, "Listen, you are just know that no matter what, you are physically attractive, no matter what he says to you."
She's like, "There's no way he's not."
Yeah, no way. Don't tell anyone else about their attractiveness level to someone like you. You don't know Brennan's mind. You don't know what he's thinking.
I know it's a tough spot because she's trying to make her feel better, and it's like, no, of course he has to be, right? It's just like that's not. It's fluff, It's not rooted in anything. It's not like she knows Brennan so well to know his type.
Yeah. So Emily says, I feel like the chemistry was there, and I'm not gonna keep harping on it, but something good needs to happen, and she knows that she needs to play it the right way. I don't even know what her strategy is at this point, but she's like, something's got to give here. So she gets emotional. Becca does. Just she needs someone that is sure of themselves and sure of her, but she doesn't want to give up on this, and she's frustrated because he doesn't give her direct answers about anything, so she doesn't know what to do or say to really get through to him. Meanwhile, Austin and Brennan are having their bro party. Austin asks Brennan, "So is romance something that can grow for you, or is it if you're not attracted right away, it's never going to happen?" Brennan says, I don't know, man. This is uncharted territory. I didn't anticipate this being an issue, but I really want to trust the process, and divorce is not an option for me. If I have to hear that one more time, especially from this man. Well,
start acting like it.
Especially from this man who is ready to divorce right now.
Yes.
It's a problem. So he says, if I could take a pill that would give me and her chemistry, I would do it right now. But that's not a thing. So I have to do it naturally. So that was pretty much their little meetings. I feel like this was just so much
filler.
Nothing. Yeah. So much.
Yeah. Like this episode could have been an hour because that was unnecessary. Cinnamon is trying to turn over her water bowl.
Like, oh no, not that.
But yeah, it really it didn't move the story along. It didn't add to anything. I feel like because going away from it, Emily is still just like helpless, doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And it's not like we got more of Becca's real opinions about her and Austin. So I don't know.
Yeah, because this is mostly about Emily and Brennan. Like, wasn't even like anything from the Becca and Austin story. They're just like the friends
Yeah.
lending an ear. But yeah, so the real fireworks start when we get ready for the PM meeting, and they're kind of at the kitchen island getting ready. In a confessional, Emily says, I still really feel this big disconnect between us. And they talk a little bit about the meeting. Brennan says, I've never really done therapy, so I'm very nervous, and I'm unsure of Pia's intentions.
Intentions?
What
What are you talking?
In her intentions? She's trying to get you, Brendan. She's trying to get you. Like, that's what he thinks. Before the meeting even starts, he's like, she out to get me. She tried to get me to say stuff I don't want to say, and he already has his guard up. He's already defensive before the meeting even starts.
He's acting as if her goal walking in is to break them up.
Time to cause some drama.
Test them.
like she's outside the door. She like turns to the camera. She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna stir some ish up right now.
We're gonna make them have a decision day today."
Yeah, they're done for.
I was like, her intentions.
My goal is to get them divorced by the time I leave this room. It worked with Lauren and Orion. It'll work with Emily and Brennan.
If one of them doesn't throw their ring off, then I failed.
I failed. Yeah.
It's just like he was at that moment. It was at this moment I knew he was going into it with the wrong idea.
And I love what the editing does here and the sound, because as Pia knocks on the door and Emily goes to answer it, they make sure to catch Brennan's every like breath under his. He's like, like he is just not for this at all. So Pia comes in, looking like her Pia self as usual. What is it with her in pink? That's a thing for her.
She is an AKA.
I mean, is that the whole reason? She's that,
yes. You know
that
how much
proud?
Pink how much pink I have in my wardrobe?
Are you wearing pink right now?
I am.
Oh my gosh. Sheesh.
I'm like, didn't even realize it. Look.
My color works.
Green.
My color works on my computer, not like your TV.
I'm like, what else do I have? This candle, pink.
Oh my gosh.
It's everywhere. My color works. I just heard you. My pants right now are green. Yeah, pink and green runs deep. Okay.
I see. So Pia comes in. She asks how everything's going. Emily says, things are rocky at the start, but I think we're back on track. I said, Emily, why do you keep lying for this man? Like, I feel like before the meeting, he was like, you better say the things are going well. Like,
yes.
Like, she keeps like downplaying this stuff. She says, but there's still a little disconnect with the romance and the chemistry. And we're trying to see if we can evolve things, and we're trying to be as open as possible, but it doesn't feel great it doesn't feel great for him to hear that he's not into me, but it feels like it's progress that he can tell me that at least. Emily talks about how new this is all for her, and talks about how talk about emotion is not his thing, and that's fine. No, Emily, tell him it's not fine. Tell him about himself,
please. Because
because
even I guess we're not there yet, but kind of at this point where it's like she at least knows that he's not there with his feelings with her, right? Mm-hmm. Lauren had such a great point on Afterparty was, okay, when you don't tell her, she can only assume everything under the sun. Yep. She can only make all these assumptions, and that's way worse than whatever the truth is.
And Brennan's face throughout the whole Afterparty was like, yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah, all right. I just feel like Brennan has maybe has like a superiority complex, because I feel like anytime anyone ever says anything in his mind, he's just like, yeah, okay, right, sure. Like, I don't think he believes anything anyone ever tells him about any advice they give him. He's just like, yeah, whatever, I know what's best, blah blah.
He's constantly thinking people are challenging him, which I don't get. I'm like, is he an only child?
I don't recall meeting any brothers or sisters. He definitely gives only child energy that comes from an only child.
Yeah. Right. I was like, nothing against only children.
Yeah. No, we suck. We're awful. I tell you, only children are the worst.
I just feel like he is just not used to being in any position where he has to be vulnerable or being pressed on being honest. Like, that's his issue right now, is that's him withholding what the reason is. He's saying, oh, I'm just protecting her. So accept that answer. It's like, no.
Yeah, Brennan does say, well, it's really hard to open up, and while we're doing all this, he really, most of this time he gives one word answers pretty much.
Yes, that was. If I was Dr. P, I would have said, okay, hold on, cut the camera. You need to give me something, or I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
What is with the one word answers?
So we really get into the physical attraction of it all, and Pia says, "Can you just like put into words what turned you off?" He says, "Whoa. He says, whoa. Let's be mindful of Emily here, okay? Let's be mindful."
Ridiculous.
Pia says, "Well, that I am being mindful. I'm asking you if you can say, like, as respectfully as possible, what is turning you off." He says, "Well, I can't do it. If I were in her shoes, I wouldn't feel comfortable with that." Emily says, "Look, I'm over being comfortable, uncomfortable. I just want to get it out in the open so that we can fix it." Pia says, "Listen, I'm just trying to figure out how we got to where we are now." So that, and Pia's like pissed off meter is rising as she's talking about this. She's like,
literally,
"I'm trying to get some information so I can give you constructive advice like I'm supposed to do. And to do that, we need to have a frank and open discussion." Pia says, "All right, so are you concerned that you're going to hurt her feelings by telling her something?" He says, "Yeah, for sure, definitely." He says he doesn't want to say anything that would cause any damage to her. And Pia's like,
for him that was so that felt deeper to me, that he just thinks he is in this position right now. Yes, that power to damage her.
And it's
y'all known each other 2 weeks,
and that makes it even worse, right? Because he's basically saying, "Listen, what I got to say is gonna destroy this woman. It's so terrible. She doesn't know it yet, but she is just awful. I'm just waiting to drop the hammer, and it will destroy her and her self-confidence." It really brings me back to Jasmine and Eris of last season. This is the exact same thing that was happening.
But I got to give it to Eris. He didn't handle it in this way. It was like look, there's that thing, but I don't want to talk about it. She knows what it is, but that's it.
He did at first, but then he told her at some point off camera.
Right.
But
he
Brennan
told her
off
camera.
Yeah. So Pia, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Brennan's not even giving her that satisfaction. So she's just like, well, not even that satisfaction, but just that truth to not have to wonder. Like, we shouldn't be in the same position as Emily.
Yeah, 100%.
But brief side note, I found Dr. Pia's Instagram picture. Look at all that pink and green.
Oh my gosh. Really proud. It's like her whole personality at this point.
That's the way it goes.
So Pia does note Emily's body language. She's like, I'm seeing you like really squinting your eyes a lot every time Brennan's talking. What is going on? And Brennan keeps interrupting. He's like, hey, well, I mean, it just means that she's like, hey, I'm just checking in to make sure she's okay. Well, that's what he says. He says, I'm just checking.
That's her thinking face.
Yeah, that's your thinking face, right? If I'm not wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. And he says, I'm just checking in on her. I'm just checking in because Dr. P is like, Brennan, I'm talking to Emily. Let Emily speak. Let me talk to Emily. He's like,
and here's Brennan.
Hey.
This is my wife.
This is my wife. This is my woman right here. I was making sure she's okay. And that she says the right thing to cast me in the right light so that she doesn't say anything negative about me. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do right now. All right. It gets a little contentious between Pia and Brennan. Pia's like, he says, I'm just trying to make sure she's okay. Pia says, well, listen, that's my job. That's what I'm here for. So let her speak. Let her say what she needs to say. He says, I just want to help her take a step back and make sure she's okay. He says, listen, she can speak for herself. Let her do that. Emily says, well, listen, I'm fine. It's fine. He says, okay, but what's up with the eye squinting though? Emily, what's up? Mm-hmm. Little does Pia know that Emily squints all the time. She squints a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Emily squints a lot. When nothing's really going on, like it's a curious face, it's a mad face. Emily does squints for every face. But she says, Emily does say, it's also a little bit of frustration.
Dr. P is like, thank you.
Got it. See, Brennan, I was right.
You think you know so much, Brennan.
Mr. Know-it-all. Think you're the body language expert. That's me.
Right.
Buddy.
You don't know her.
She says, she knows he doesn't want to hurt her, but thinks it will cause more resentment if he doesn't tell her anything about it. Pia again says, you guys have to have a frank, direct, and open conversation to move forward. She asks them, so what have you guys been doing? And ask Brennan to put into words what is holding his physical attraction back. And Pia keeps trying to broach this subject. This is like the third way that she's trying to word it, so he will tell her what's going on. He says, I don't know. I just don't get that romantic feeling. I just don't know. I don't know. I'm just not there. Pia says, is this something that has happened to you before? Like, he says no. And Pia says, well, the question, all that stuff about, you wanting to make sure that she's okay. Do you feel protective towards Emily? And, is there emotion behind that? He says, I mean, maybe, but I just don't know what the emotion is. I just care about people. I care about people. Now, do you think Pia actually read that right? Because the way that I read what he did was, now listen, Emily, before you say something that's going to, make me look like the bad guy, let's think about this.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's not like because she has proven that she's not like, at what moment has she talked negatively about him in front of him? Even with the friend situation, she was like, no, I'm sorry for them, repeatedly. So why did he think she was on the verge of anything?
Well, I think because Pia is kind of digging in. Yeah, and I think Brennan's view of this is that Pia is trying to get Emily to say something negative about him, and Brennan's like, "Whoa, hey."
And clearly, he's like, if I was Emily, I wouldn't want to hear what I had to say. So he definitely don't want to hear if somebody has something negative to say about him.
For sure.
Because he's like trying to
so
put a halt on it.
Pia asked Brennan, so Brennan, she asked both of them actually. She says, what are you guys' thoughts about therapy? And he says, yeah, I'm fine with it. I think she says, like, I haven't needed it. It's fine. But it's good. Brennan says, I've not been in therapy, but I believe it does help some people. And I believe
it use that exact line on Afterparty.
Yeah, I believe it helps some people. And Pia says, well, Brennan, I would actually suggest that you enter therapy individually so you can process your emotions that you don't know what they are. I feel like this is like
the crowd goes wild.
I feel like this was a challenge to be like, all right, Brennan, you say you don't understand your emotions and you don't know this, so you should probably go to therapy. And this sets him off. He's like, yeah, no, that's not happening.
Therapy
for me?
You think me? I do self-reflection.
Yeah, okay? I do self-reflection. I have a great support system, so I don't really need that.
Brennan, anyone who does if someone does self-reflection, if people pray, if people meditate, if they have a strong support system, that does not mean that they don't need therapy.
Here's the thing, though. Brennan is like, and this is Brennan's thought that I have. This is what Brennan thinks. Brennan thinks therapy is only for quote unquote crazy people. And for her to suggest that he needs therapy, to him suggests that he has a problem, that he is deficient in some way. That is in Brennan's mind, get that right, not in my mind. That is in Brennan's mind, that he thinks that when someone suggests you need therapy, that you have some big issue, that you're crazy, that you quote unquote need help. So I think that is what's really causing his like flare up there.
Because even later he's like, it's not a great thing to hear that you need
no one
therapy.
Wants to hear that. Yeah, no one's hearing that about themselves.
Literally, Brennan, do you go to the gym? Oh, you do? For your body, to improve your body? Therapy is for your emotional state, for your mind, for your overall yes, for self-care. If you want to worry about yourself, if you want to enhance yourself, you want to learn more about yourself deeper, therapy is the way to go. I don't know where there like that right there should have been unpacked a little bit more. Like, okay, what's your issue with therapy? What has happened in the past where you have thought therapy is such a negative thing?
Oh, I just think he just ascribes it to a negative connotation because he thinks that therapy is only for people that have major problems. He doesn't think he has any major problems. He tells her, listen, I can't describe my emotions because I don't have any. And it feels like, well, so that's probably why you need therapy, because you say you don't have emotions, right? I mean,
because everyone has emotions.
yeah. So I think that's probably something you could do in therapy. There, something you could focus on. He
The
says,
fact
well, I just don't have feelings, and I don't know what they are.
this
You
man,
keep saying stuff that makes me think you should go to therapy to fix that stuff.
right? Oh, so you're just numb inside?
Yeah. You think
That,
that's normal?
yeah,
You think
right.
that's a good thing?
Like, okay, if that's the logic you're trying to use,
He has really just talked himself into a corner at this point, because
mhm,
he just won't come out and say what is wrong, what is the problem with Emily. That's what has caused all this for him.
yep.
So he's really kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't in this way.
And
Um,
clearly he's lying, because
yes,
we
he's
heard him
lying.
talk about it on Afterparty.
Yep.
He's like, well, some things came out, and Rudy's like, what? He's like, well, when you're 30 and you're talking about getting ghosted and partying and one night stands and stuff. So clearly you have a feeling about that. You have a thought about these things that Emily has shared with you. You don't feel positively about them. I think he's associating feelings with positive feelings. He's thinking, oh, you want me to tell my feelings for her, any type, negative or positive.
And I mean, I'm glad to see that in between the time of filming and after party, he is now totally, fine with saying what his problem was.
Right.
So later on, they debrief about the Pia conversation. He says, he's like, she was really harping on emotions. He says, I can't help how I feel. And, and I can't believe she suggested I go to therapy and say, it says,
Right.
right, Emily? Right, Em? I don't need therapy, right? Right? Say I don't need therapy. He says, I can't help if there are no feelings yet. And, he's not sure why he would need therapy for that. Why would he need therapy for not having feelings? Emily says, he is sharing feelings to the limit he can, but she knows that he has more feelings and that therapy might actually help him with that. He says, see, you see why I get so frustrated?
If for someone with no feelings, he shows how he's feeling on his face the most of anyone in this cast. You know when he's frustrated or mad or annoyed. Like it's all, he just tenses his jaw and he's just look like
it's when he shows any emotion, because his baseline emotion on this show has been like disassociating, like just staring off into space while he talks, like, oh yeah, no. But when he gets mad, you can see the fire in his eyes. He's like, you see why I'm so frustrated?
right.
And she's like, I don't understand how this got so heated so quickly. He's like, well, I mean, listen, you're not bringing serious stuff to the table either. And she's
I was like, oh, he's resorted to being a child.
Yeah.
You're not doing it either.
Yeah, but then Emily responds, she's like, well, I know it's a two-way street, duh.
Yeah.
Like, what? All right, children, time to separate. Time to separate.
They should have said, okay, cut. What are y'all doing?
What is happening here? Everybody go to your corners.
Right. When she said duh, I laughed.
Duh. So yeah, he says, it's not good when it's not a good feeling when someone says you need therapy. And Emily's like, well, I think therapy might be important for you. He says, it's never going to happen. Never. Okay, all right. Boy, now there's been a lot of talk in the MAFS community about if your feelings on therapy should be a barrier to entry to enter the MAFS process. Like, if you don't believe therapy is a good thing, or you don't get therapy, should you be in this MAFS process where it's not necessarily even, I don't know if they're getting therapy or they're getting more advising.
Right. Like in school, it was called like guidance counseling.
Yeah, counseling. Yeah. If you don't believe that therapy is a useful tool for everyone, should you be a part of this process where these things are therapy like, right? Like, it's not therapy exactly, but it's something like therapy.
Yeah, like therapy adjacent. Like you have to be and it made me wonder, like, do they unpack this type of stuff during, like, when they are choosing people? Are they getting deeper.
Well, listen, if they're not diving deeper on religion, I don't know if they're diving deeper on therapy.
Right.
So I don't know if it's something about this season in particular, but it seems like we're missing some stuff here in the casting process.
Right. It's like, come on. Like, I feel like they would have known this is how Brennan handles talking about any internal emotion.
Right, and they would know that he's not going to respond very well to the experts who
Mhm.
are not exactly therapists in this capacity, but
They're there to
somewhat,
help.
yeah, they're somewhat in this capacity of talking about feelings and emotions. So if they knew this was Brennan's stance on therapy, would they have cast him? Is what I think people are wondering. And if people are wondering if you have this Brennan stance, should you be a part of MAFS?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think you should.
Yeah, because this type of counseling is an important part of the process, and if you're not willing to take part in it, you're doomed from the start.
Right. It's that unwillingness to change or grow because you're not being matched with the perfect person for you. So if
Mhm.
you aren't willing to work through things with the guidance of these experts, then y'all are just going to have fun in Mexico for 8 weeks? No.
And I feel like we're talking to almost every man on this MAFS cast right now.
Yes, literally. With the exception of Cameron.
Cameron, we're gonna get to Cameron and Claire, but I feel like
Yeah.
Cameron is probably one of the better communicators of feeling that we've seen on MAFS.
Yes.
Now he does have some deficiencies in communicating in other ways, but we'll get to that. But as far as ratings, do I even have to ask for Brennan and Emily? What is your rating?
So the last 2 weeks we were at ones, and I am solidly still at that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 1. It's
Yeah.
I don't see it improving at all this season.
We did
So
get so this week we got, instead of the next week, because next week it is a clip show. So we'll say this again at the end, just so y'all are aware, in case people are skipping around in the podcast, but we will not be talking about that clip show. And so this is our last podcast of 2023. We will be rest the roof. We'll be back, obviously, to talk about episode 11 when it comes on. But I will say, on the still to come preview, we did get to see Emily crash. I think they were driving ATVs, because if they were
they're like
snowmobiles, well, if they were snowmobiles, it would have had a windshield.
But there's literal snow around them.
I know, but I think they were driving. You can do ATVs.
Okay,
If the roads are
semantics.
clear.
I feel like it's semantics, but okay.
No, they're two different things. I can safely drive an ATV. I drove a snowmobile and it's on skis and I crashed it. Don't make me get the pictures out.
You win their ATVs. Okay, I concede.
Semantics. Was it a bus or a car?
Are they really that different?
One is on wheels, one is on skis.
Okay. All right. Sure.
But anywho, that accident looks very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
We also see Brennan saying his deal breaker was a very positive person.
She's like, I'm super effing positive. What are you talking about?
Brennan also asked if they could start doing more hugs.
Yeah, she's very excited about more hugs. Right. Does he also say something about a red flag? And she's like, are you calling me a red flag?
Oh, yeah, that was in the sneak peek on Afterparty. He was
yes,
yeah, usually I like run at the first sign of red flags. And she was like, are you calling me a red flag?
I think maybe he's going to open up a little more about what he's not really finding attractive with her, which is that she likes to party and she likes one night stands. Now, I would assume, since she's agreeing to marry you, Brennan, that she's giving up the one night stand part of this. So I think he's really just being judgmental about her past, and that's not going to help anyone, Brennan.
Yes. All right.
So next up, who we got?
Are you okay to continue? Yeah, let's talk about Lauren and Orion real quick.
Lauren and Onion. His new name is officially Onion because he stinks and he makes everyone cry.
I didn't know there was meaning to it.
Yes. They say it's because he has layers. I say it's because he stinks and makes people cry.
Oh my goodness. So they joined on this big group get together that they had. So Lauren arrived. They were like, well, I don't know if they're coming. So then Lauren.
Do you think Lauren and Orion got there before everyone else? Are like, no, we got to hold you until everyone else gets here, and then y'all can go in last.
Right. Yes, probably. So she arrived.
Claire sees Lauren. She's like, see you out there in a bit.
Right.
Like they all did seeing Lauren already.
They fist bump him as they come.
Good luck. Break a leg. Brennan's like, don't forget your script.
Right. He's like acting silly. Okay. And
right.
Action.
Him and Emily like making out backstage, like, all right, we gotta be method, babe. We gotta act like we don't like each other now.
So Lauren arrives and she brings some food. Do you know what she brought?
It was like charcuterie board or whatever, right?
Oh yeah. It was really cute. She had like some separate knives that you could do the spreads with. I was like, that was really cute setup.
That's some boozy ish that I know Aysha Welch would just freaking love. She got it right next to the cidery, I'm sure. They sell those type of things.
Yeah, every cider place I've been to has had charcuterie boards for sure.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, was it this week? Yeah, this Sunday, me and my boyfriend went to like the Texas Hill Country where it has a bunch of wineries. And I was like, Jason would love to know I'm here. Spend the day going to different wineries.
Charcuterie board heaven right there. This as you're eating like little bits of ham, this is my third charcuterie board a day.
But that's when I passed through Buc-ee's and got those pictures for you.
And excuse me, I didn't even get a picture of the bathrooms. Okay, I thought the bathrooms was
that
like
felt
one of the main
weird.
attractions.
That felt weird. For one, I would be in the women's restroom, and I'm sure that looks different.
I'm sure there's couches in there.
No, I would. If there weren't, we'd be in there too long.
Did you take your boyfriend? You could have gotten some other pictures of the bathroom.
Oh, for him to go in and take. Okay, next time.
Yes, I need to see those bathrooms. You talked about so good, so nice.
Just in the bathroom taking a picture. It's not gonna fly.
What if he's like staying there waiting for a guy? Just like, well, I mean, can you see other people? Like,
I don't know how boys' bathrooms work. Don't you have like
different?
urinals?
Yeah, I don't know.
We have full stalls. Like they're like rooms.
Yeah, the women's are. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be weird. Like, don't mind me. I'm just taking a picture of this bathroom.
There's a picture for Jason.
So I'll wait till you finish urinating so I can take the pictures of all the urinals. I'll just stand here and wait for you to finish.
So if y'all are in the Facebook group, you missed out on the amazing pictures of Buc-ee's I was showing Jason since he had never been to one.
The beef jerky wall. Ooh.
Yes, there's so much beef jerky. So we get a confessional from Lauren. She's like, she doesn't mind telling people what happened. She tells them like they never moved in. And
I do like they asked Lauren, where's Orion? She's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know that man. I don't know his whereabouts. As a single man, he can go do whatever he wants.
Right. And so then Orion arrives. He has like desserts from his friend that owns a bakery. He like, as he passes Lauren, he like puts his hand on her. He's like, hello.
She didn't really react. I feel like she wanted to be like, oh, don't touch me.
Right. I don't like you like that. So the other couples all go around explaining like what, the updates with them and stuff. And Lauren is like, it's, I give y'all props. Y'all are going through stuff and you're sticking with it.
Not like some people in this group. But I can't say the same about.
Right. So they all sit down and they're basically like, okay, what happened with like Lauren and Orion? And Orion's like, Lauren and I have decided to get a divorce. Lauren's like, right. Yeah,
you, as in you.
Yeah. So Emily's like, okay, when did this happen? And Lauren's like, he can speak to it since it happened so many times.
Oh, I was counting points. I was like, that's another one for Lauren.
Yes. Ding ding. He's like, well, getting back from the honeymoon and you know, we had like a lot of conversations, and then things got more real after talking to Dr. Pia. And I think it was Emily. It was like Emily and Brennan kept asking the questions, but Emily was like, "Do you feel like y'all both gave it a chance?" And she was like, "Well, like, I don't feel like he gave us a chance." And she's like, "I did make like a terrible, horrible joke on day 2 of the honeymoon, but then he called me a failure. He slut shamed me, and he never apologized for how he made me feel." And he's like, I did apologize." She's like, "You never," he's like, "That night." She's like, "You never apologized for calling me a failure and saying I failed this marriage." And she starts crying, and she's like, or saying these things are making me feel a certain way. And all I've done is try to reassure you and to tell you that you haven't failed. And he's like, "I don't think you have failed." She's like, "Well, then why would you say that?" He's like, "I'm not changing what I said."
Wait, what? So wait a minute. You just said you never said that, but now you're saying you're not changing what you said when she challenged you on calling her a failure. What?
I don't know how he consistently says the exact opposite of what he says.
Yes.
And it's not even because the first time it's like, oh, maybe that was a mistake. Second time, oh, maybe he was just a little confused or we misunderstood. Went third, fourth, fifth time. No, this is just something he does.
But the sad part is he's not even, I don't even think he's being devious with this. I just don't think he understands himself or what he's doing. I don't think he gets it.
It's almost like, when when you think before you speak, just like a very basic rule about talking.
And then you don't remember what you said when you thought before you spoke.
Just in the heat of moment, said a bunch of stuff, you forgot about it, and now you're a brand new person in the next breath.
Like if someone showed you footage of what you said, you're like, did I said that?
Like, was that edited?
Yeah. Was that a Frankenbite?
He's probably having a time rewatching this show. It's like, when did I say those words? So yeah, she's like, he's like, if that's your truth, that's your truth. She said, you're I love this. Lauren goes, "You are such a gaslighter, bro."
Yes. Tell him. Drag him.
Oh my gosh, because he is. He's trying to say, well, that's your interpretation of what was said. No, you literally said you failed this marriage. And now you're saying, I don't think you have failed. What he means is, I don't think you have failed in life, but I do think you failed this marriage.
Because Orion speaks in generalized statements, and some people don't get it.
Right.
As he said.
He's like, that's on y'all for understanding it that way.
My problem that you don't understand my words.
Right. She said, "I have been accountable for my actions this whole time. And if you're not going to hold yourself accountable, I will."
Yes, queen.
He's like, "Well, what more. Do I?" Right? Yes, Lauren. My brother, we were watching this week's episode, and Lauren pops up on the screen, right? And he's like, I know it was like the last week on Married at First Sight, right? And showed Lauren with her beautiful hair. He said, "How did Jason not remember her middle part bust down?"
I am so sorry. I guess I have the wrong priorities, I suppose.
Oh, I bust out laughing. Okay, so he's like, "Oh, I don't have anything to hold myself accountable for. Like, the only thing I can hold myself accountable for is that I didn't feel the same way now as I did in the beginning." And so Emily was like, "Do y'all feel like y'all both gave up?" And Lauren was like, "I didn't, because I didn't ask for the divorce." He's like, "Well, I don't feel like I didn't not give us a chance." He said, "We've been consistent at going after each other in these conversations." And she was like, "How?" And he's like, "Well, there's just been like, he's like, we always had these conversations, and then we just start going back and forth. And there's just been this disconnect when it comes to communicating." And she's like, "Yeah, because we don't communicate."
I was like, it was like a fight, and Lauren was just like, bam, 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 hit it with the uppercut, hit it with the haymaker. I was like, "Go, Lauren, go, go, go."
She was, and he was just like, "Oh, I can't walk fast enough."
Lighting his ass up. He didn't even have time to react.
Right.
A knockout in the first round.
Woo! I was just like, I was glad she's getting a lot of this off of her chest.
Yeah.
But it just felt like, I don't know if it was resonating. Like, was he actually hearing her?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it was so annoying. So we get with a confessional from Lauren, and she just has a mix of emotion. She's glad that the other couples like understand where their issues are, but she wishes they weren't going through these challenges. She's going to continue on in life, and she knows she tried her best. And then just thinking about that, just you could see it set into her face, and she just crouches down and cries. And the production person comes over and hugs her, and she's like, to comfort her. And I was just like, I wish she wasn't going through this.
Yeah, and then we catch Lauren crying alone, and that same producer that came and comforted her was like, "Make sure you get a shot of her crying alone." I want to be real sad.
Oh my gosh. We did. So Lauren was on Afterparty. They didn't really say much about her and Orion, but on the still to come, Orion is sitting with Lauren. He says, I would like to build a bridge back to you because I'm missing our connection.
No. And Lauren looks like she's entertaining this.
Get away from her.
No, run.
Then
I gotta wait. Yeah, go ahead.
Then she says, there's a separate scene. She says her emotion towards him are open to being open.
No.
Are we so sure they're not together?
Stop. Don't do that. Do not. I will be so mad. And there's more of Orion in these more to come shots. He's like, talking to, who's he talking to? Cameron, maybe? No.
Or Brennan?
Brennan, maybe.
Oh, no, maybe it was Cameron. No, it was Cameron, because he was like, how long I'm going to keep being strung along.
Yeah, and it's like, why are we seeing more of this? Like, why?
You said they were going to drag it out. We do it. They are not done.
Man,
They're not done.
I thought this was going to be the last time we saw them until reunion, but they're just going to keep dragging this out. And I really don't want Lauren to go back to him. I really, 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 really don't. I really hope that the editing is fooling us in some way, because I don't know what I'm going to do if she goes back to that man. After all of this, how could you do that?
I know. It's just because she has that ability to give people grace. Like that's the problem.
Maybe too much grace.
Yes. And I'm just so concerned because clearly he has shown what he's capable of. Like that's him at his core. He could clean it up a little bit by being nice and doing just enough to get her back if he does, like, if that's where they end up, right?
Yeah.
But it's like the next time y'all have a big argument, that's going to be the Orion you see.
Yes, that is the real him. If you're not picture perfect at all times, he's going to break up and get back together with you 5 times if you allow him to do that.
Yeah. And just like, I was trying to go back and see, like, on the still or this season on, if we saw them on decision day. I know they didn't show this today, but did they the first time they showed us people on decision day?
No, they didn't, because we commented on it. We were like, we didn't see Lauren and Ryan on decision day, but we were like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. They did it with some other couple, and then they tricked us. So who the heck knows? We didn't see on this round of the previews Emily
Austin
and
Becca. Oh, it was Austin. Okay, yeah.
So we didn't see Emily and
Austin and Claire.
Yeah, and I can't remember if we saw Emily and Brennan's decision day in the first round of previews. I feel like we must have, because we would have commented on it if we didn't.
I don't know. I think we were still learning their names, though.
Yeah, I was still trying to pick out between Brennan and Austin who was who.
Right. Yeah, this time they only showed us Cameron, Claire, Becca, and Austin for sure at decision day.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, who knows what that means for these people?
Right. So okay. We don't have ratings for them. They're done. But if they end up, no, we're not rating them.
Don't put this. Let's not put it in the universe. Let's not give it life. Let's not give it breath.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, who do you want to talk about next?
We're going to go to Austin and Becca. We're at like round 4 of the same conversations that we've been having all season. We open up with them. They're playing a game of cribbage. He says his mom taught him how to play when he was younger, and he's going to try and teach her how to play, even though he doesn't really remember all the rules. We get a lot of kind of double entendre about the game because there's pegging that goes on this game, a little pegboard, and we keep making fun of the word pegging. She says, "I'm going to peg you." So there's a bunch of pegging going on. She really tries to make it a fun. She says in a confessional, she says she knows she needs to be patient with him since he's not comfortable as she is, but she's worried they are running out of ways to connect besides friendship, which is the real issue here. Is that you guys are caught in the friend zone. Like you guys are friends that make out basically. So you need to figure out a way to get out of there.
Right. It's like friends with, you can't even say benefits, because they're friends with more benefits. Mm-hmm. So it's I think it's a valid concern for her, and I appreciate her efforts. It's just concerning that it's not being received.
So I do wonder this though, right? If we flipped the genders, would we be saying the same things?
I think we can a little bit.
If woman
Cameron
was like,
Claire.
Yeah, true. If woman was like, I'm just not comfortable with it, will we be like, come on, get in there and do the damn thing? If a guy was Becca's like, I don't know what her problem is. Why won't she give it up? I'm ready. Why wasn't she ready? I think Cameron's coming at it with a little more care, but Becca is almost like, I don't know what his problem is. Like, I'm ready to give him the goods, and he won't take them. But I feel like in the past we've been a little more sensitive to the women that are just like, yeah, not yet. I'm not ready yet. Mm-hmm. But with Austin, we're just like, what's the problem, bro?
Get with it.
Why don't you just F her? God. That wasn't me. That was Pastor Cal.
I'm trying to think of a comparison, but I can't quickly. Because I wonder if we would feel the same way, because would it be a couple that was like getting along so well? But I do think another big issue is that they've just like, they're tabling so serious conversations rather than really digging into it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't see that desire on his side to go deeper.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing with Cameron and Claire is there is zero affection with them. There's no kissing. There's no nothing. I think with Austin and Becca, it's weird because they seem to be like right at the threshold of,
they're like, let's make out before bed.
Right. But yeah, so we get to the group hang, and Austin opens up he opens up the conversation about them because it's such a weird thing when you think about it. Like, we're going to get all this group of friends together and you're each going to talk about how troubled your relationship is. So Austin opens up his group's presentation.
Yeah.
He says, we're doing good. But he does bring up the issues with religion and intimacy. He says, but we're both open-minded. But he still needs to work through some things before he gets there, and they still need to get to know one another before they talk about big things that could tear them apart. I was like, I don't know if you should really put it like that, Austin.
Right. That's what concerns me, is like it's as if he thinks there is something that could be a deal breaker rather than not even a deal breaker, but something that could change how the vibes are now, rather than like, let's just use it as an opportunity to learn more about each other.
Yeah, and is it just the religion thing that is really tripping him up? Because that seems to be the only issue that we really know about. Mm-hmm. Is he also concerned with the health piece and he's just not telling us?
I don't know. I feel like if that were a thing, we would have heard more. Like, I feel like they've stopped talking about her health situation since the honeymoon.
Yeah, so I'd love a little more context from Austin, but Austin does not seem like a context guy. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Austin, I forgot my cosplay last week, but I gotta make sure I remember it this week. Sorry. So yeah, he says it's been really hard, but her support has been so helpful and so meaningful. Becca gets emotional. She says, I see all of us having issues, and I just want to hug all of you. Becca is like one of the most empathetic people I think we've ever seen on this cast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting, but they all do get a little group hug because they are all in terrible places.
Did you notice like Lauren and Orion were next to each other?
Yeah, like far apart from each other.
Well, no, like they had their arms around each
during
other.
the hug, yeah.
During the hug, yeah.
Sheesh. But yeah, we at the little Becca and Emily and Austin and Brennan thing. They're not really much about Becca and Austin. Becca tells Emily about their issues again, and Austin says they're good. We just need to figure some stuff out. So there's really nothing about them in that context. But they do meet with Dr. Pia, and they sit on the couch and they're close right away. They're hugging each other. They're all snuggled up. Pia says, "I'm really enamored by how genuine your connection seems," and she says, "So what's going on with the intimacy piece?" Becca says, we love making out, but he moves a lot slower than I do, and I'm just trying to be respectful. Austin says, he just likes to have an emotional connection before sex, not just banging. Pia says, well, I don't really get, just banging energy from you guys. I get that. I see that you guys are genuinely, emotionally connected. He says, yeah, I don't know. I just need more time to process and figure it out. Becca says, she can empathize, even though it's not how she sees it. They're not seeing it the same way. Becca says she's very attracted and connected, and if it was up to her, they would move further right now. He says, it's great that she feels that way, and he feels that way about her too, but he just isn't ready. And I'm just like, can we get a little more besides I'm just not? I feel like this is the mystery season. Like we don't know why Austin doesn't want to move further.
Detective magnifying glasses.
Yeah, we don't know why Brennan doesn't like Emily, although we can guess. We don't know what Claire really feels about Cameron. There's so much mystery going on in this season.
We don't know why Orion changes his thought every 2 seconds.
Right, what's up? It's so weird. Pia says, so are all types of sex off the table, or is it just intercourse? What's up? He says, no, not all types of intimacy are off the table. And Becca really seems surprised at this. She's like, oh, really? Pia says, so what does that look like for you, Austin? Austin says, well, we haven't really talked about it. And he's like, yeah, well, yeah. And he's really like stuttering. And this one, he's like, it's just like, yeah, I mean, Austin, I think, is only beat by Brennan of how uncomfortable he is being on camera.
Right. He's like, it's going to just be more in the moment. Well, I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. If this is her first time finding out that you're open to that, there's no way it's happening in the moment if she thinks that she's taking your lead.
And that makes things even worse because that means he's down for it. He just doesn't want to do it with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that makes things even worse. And, Becca's in a position where she can't really initiate that because he's the one with the issue of movement. So the ball's kind of in his court because of everything that's transpired. And it doesn't seem like he's in a rush to really, move any further than they already are.
Yeah, the ball's in his court and he's just dribbling in the back. He's about to get a backcourt violation.
Pia says, well, you guys should really talk about what you're comfortable with in terms of sexual contact, and really kind of talk about your history, talk about what foreplay looks like to you, and and really get deeper into it. Austin says, hey, let's not turn her on more than she already is, which I just don't think is appropriate for right now, Austin. I just don't think you should be saying stuff like that.
I know. It was just like, the moment you can, like, the moment the door is open for him to be open and transparent with Becca, he makes it into like a joke and like puts a halt to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is, because he clearly seems like, obviously he likes her as a person. We know that.
She's a female him, basically.
Yes, exactly. Like he probably adores her, but is he having a conflict with seeing her as his like forever wife? I don't know.
Yeah, but and the question is, why does he not see that?
Yeah,
is the question. Is it just a religion thing? Is it anything else? Who knows?
Right.
They debriefed the PA meeting a little bit. She says, I'm surprised that you said that you were ready for, a little more contact besides intercourse, because you know where I stand. I've been ready. He says, yeah, he says, yeah, I'm cool to try more stuff. And then they kiss, and that was it.
Yeah. So we'll see if just in the moment something happens.
Yeah.
Because does that mean now she'll take the lead?
I don't
Don't
know.
know.
And the more to come is, she's like, I think in a confessional, she's like, I'm really questioning if he's really as into this as I am.
Mm-hmm.
As we see like footage of him walking away to somewhere.
Because he's, oh yeah, with his laundry.
Yeah, it was clothes.
Then he says like, he tells her, I feel like sometimes you don't want me to think for myself all the time.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
It's like, what?
So who knows what's gonna happen with those two.
And then she was crying like hysterically to one of the experts.
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like she's done it a couple times at this point.
Not you over her crying. How's the most solid couple have the most crying?
I don't know. I mean, well, let's get into the ratings. I feel like I might have to change my ratings now.
Ooh.
Where are you at with them?
So I've been at a 4 the past 2 weeks. I'm concerned. I am really concerned. I'm not going to read too much into the still to come. I'm just going based off of right now. And I do feel like that was a big deal to find out that he's open to more intimacy, like just not sex, and that she wasn't aware. If you know that that's a conversation, like, hey, he's like, look, I'm not ready for that, but I'm ready. I'm ready for this and this. Wouldn't that have been?
Why haven't we been doing that?
Exactly. So especially knowing that she wants to go all the way. Like, I don't know.
All the way. I'm finally ready to go all the way with Austin.
So that really, really concerns me. So, I mean, I've been at 4. I feel like maybe I should be at like a low 4, high 3. Mm-hmm. But it just feels weird to have the highest rating for a couple be a 3.
Well, I mean, that's what the MAFS gods have given us.
I know. I might just go ahead and do a 4. We'll see if next week we get more of the same.
Yeah, I've been in a 5. I'm ready to take it to a 4 because I don't know what's going on with Austin. The more to come makes me want to take it to a 3, mm-hmm. but I'm not going to do that because we know that the edit is so deceptive.
Yeah.
So I'll take it to a 4 right now because of Austin's mystery, not wanting to move forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we have it, folks. Becca and Austin.
So last but certainly not least, Cameron and Claire.
Oh, weirdly not least for a couple that almost called it quits this week.
Literally, thanks to Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
He is my favorite husband, and I say that confidently.
I mean, yeah.
Who's your favorite husband?
I feel like it's Cameron because he's so open. I feel like it was Austin to begin the season, but he's just so closed off and not really saying what he means and saying more. So I'm going to give it to Cameron because he's so open and transparent.
Yeah. Because that would be the thing. I get it. Like this, having the cameras all in your face while you're trying to be vulnerable with your partner and talking about feelings and all this stuff. I get that, right? But it'd be a different thing if he was being open with her off camera. Like she wouldn't be so in the dark about where he is if he was like, okay, now.
Well, both with Austin and with Brennan, I feel like they think their ladies are going to snitch on them if they tell them the real tea off camera. Like, I would tell you off camera, but then you're going to go and tell the cameras when they come back on. I can't tell you.
Yeah. So Cameron and Claire, they were in bed. She slept great, but she said it was hot as Hades. I had to look that up. It's a book.
I mean,
it just means
Hades is hell, right?
Oh, is it really? I just have never heard that before.
You never heard of Hades?
No.
It's like in is it Greek mythology? I think so. It's Hades. You never saw the cartoon Hercules?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh.
Iron Man came on the other day. I was like, I've seen this movie.
Let's not start about your lack of MCU knowledge.
Oh my goodness. So he points out, he's like, well, the thermostat's right there. She's like, well, I was trying to hint at you opening a window. He's like, you didn't ask me once. They're just never on the same page.
It's starting contentious the first part of the day. They can't even wake up and not fight.
It's just all over temperature.
And it's not even it's not even like a true fight. It's just this passive aggressiveness that they pass back and forth between each other.
Right. My goodness. Pepper just laid at my feet and scooted her little feet under my foot.
Oh my gosh.
Like, this is exactly where I'm gonna be. A lot of pepper and cinnamon updates this podcast. So he says, you didn't ask once. Like, so he says, last night, I know it came up about my father's health, and I didn't realize, like, I hadn't communicated that clearly to you. She's like, yeah, it was just something strange to bring up to my friend who you didn't know. He's like, well, like, his father's been sick for, or it's been many years, and it's something he's already grieved and accepted. So, he was like, it's not like he was just being short, or like, no, he said he was being short because it wasn't like it's some hidden mystery.
But it is.
To her, yeah.
Right. But that's the thing, Cameron. You made it a mystery to her.
Right.
By not being upfront and communicating that in a way that she would understand. So, I mean, yes, I want to give Cameron a lot of credit for most of this episode for being open and transparent, but he's acting as if, no big deal. But it is a big deal to your partner who should know these things before you just go, word vomiting it to her and her friend. It should have been something that was covered week 1 of the marriage. So for him to act like, it's no big deal, I just didn't say anything. Like, no, it's a big deal. I knew about it, so I didn't feel like it was a big deal. But she didn't know about it. That's the problem, Cameron. You should have made that crystal clear to her that was an issue.
So she says, thanks for sharing. He said his dad is a survivor. Before that, she said, like, last time, she said last night was also the first time that she had heard that his dad didn't even know that they were married. He's like, well, my dad's a survivor, and anything I say could alter that. So I just have to be careful.
He was very cryptic about it inside the episode, but he shines a little more light on it in Afterparty, where he says he's still not even crystal clear about it on Afterparty. He's like,
yeah,
when my parents divorced, the shock of it made my dad's lung collapse, and that has been a problem for him ever since. I'm just like, that's odd.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a matter of timing, like the cause and result, or cause and effect, or if it was like, right after my parents divorced, my dad's lung collapsed.
Right, but he made it sound as if his mom was like, Henry, I'm divorcing you, and then his lung collapsed in that moment.
Yeah, I do not know. Yeah, because it just wasn't clear. And so Claire said she gets it, and she's grateful he is willing to have that conversation with her. And so we get a confessional from her saying she hopes that there comes a point when he is comfortable about, like, not hiding this kind of info, because his family is now her family. So they're eating at, like, their bar counter, and he's like, the sounds of mastication.
Well, maybe because they're so quiet, no one's talking, so all you can hear is the mastication.
He's like, I think it means chewing. She's like, why didn't you just say that? He's like, well, I wanted to use a big word. She said, you could have just said chewing.
And she's obviously so annoyed with him in this moment.
Yes. So we get a confessional, and he's like, he wants to feel wanted, but her body language and everything about her is saying that she does not want him. And so I'm like, it's very clear. We can see it. And so he tells her he feels like they're stuck. And she's like, I feel like we're both trying really hard. I'm like, I'm not sure if we've hit a wall, but there's zero romance. And, like, I'm not blaming either one of us. He's like, am I doing anything? Or, like, he's like, has he been doing anything that's like a romantic turn on? She's like, yeah, well, when you reach for me and, like, ask if I'm okay, like, that's a turn on for me. He's like, okay, is there anything I'm doing that's a turn off? She says, no.
So what?
So what's our problem?
What am I supposed to do with this information? Like,
Right.
if Cameron just wants to know, how do we move forward? And she's giving him nothing. She's giving this
Yes.
man nothing.
Nothing at all. So she says she's not romantically ready right now to be sexual. And she's like, for you, like, it's not natural for you to want to kiss me, right? He's like, no, it is. Like, yeah, I do want to.
Yes, I would love to kiss you, Claire. She's like, whoa.
She's like, well, that's interesting.
Really?
You want to kiss me?
Whoa, buddy. Whoa. Why would you want to do
News
that?
to me.
We've only been married for 18 days.
Right. She should have said, why?
Yeah. What about me wants to make you kiss me? What? Is it my starling personality? Which one is? What is it?
Then we get a confessional from her, and she said hearing that he's attracted to her and wants to kiss her is news to her because it's not matching his actions. What is he doing off camera? Because
I feel like he has asked several times for more physical affection, and she's denied it. And we hear later more about what's going on behind the scenes
on Afterparty.
Yeah, on Afterparty.
And go ahead, say it.
Well, I mean, Cameron has told us several things. I think
well, this one specifically.
He says that off camera, he has asked for more physical affection several times, and she has told him in no uncertain terms, it is a no-go, that it will not be happening. So yes, stop asking, said, okay. Basically.
Yeah.
And I think that really informs the rest of what happens in this episode with them.
Exactly. So she tells him like it's a hard pill to swallow, knowing that she's not giving him what he needs, and she apologizes. And he's like, "Don't apologize for being like uncomfortable." He's like, "I'm getting attached to you with the little romance that we do have."
My question is why?
Yeah, like how?
Yeah.
Maybe there's really great moments off camera.
Maybe that's a fault in editing or a fault in telling the story the right way, but I'm just like, why? She hasn't really treated you well for most of this time. She brought you a half-eaten sandwich the other day, but other than that.
So he asked her, he's like, is there a 0.1% chance of this working out? She says, no, there's more.
That was from the Orion school of, of switchback. Like, no, there isn't a chance. There's more than a chance. What?
No, I don't like you. I love you.
The pause is a little too long, though.
It was. So in the group setting, after Lauren, shares about, after she got her shots in, Cameron speaks up. He's like, Lauren, you're not alone.
I wish you would leave me too.
Yeah, he said there's some big things him and Claire do not align on. And they, for one, they don't agree on how they're going to raise their children when it comes to religion. And she's like, yeah, it really hurts me because he's a great guy. He's like, yeah, like she's the best person. Like, I am head over heels.
Cameron makes these sweeping statements at least once an episode about Claire, and I just don't see where they're coming from. It's like
next episode, he's gonna be like, Claire is the love of my life.
As they're getting divorced.
Right.
I just don't see. I don't understand where it's coming from.
Yeah. And so she's like, oh, don't make me cry. They're like, nothing has been decided with them, but he says like they do have chemistry that's special, like to them, just those two. He's like, they have a fiery chemistry, and she likes that they challenge each other.
Is the fiery chemistry in the room with us right now?
There's no spark.
Where is it?
If you squint like Emily.
Yeah. I see it, guys. I see it.
You'll see it.
I see it.
So they're back home. They're on their couch. Or maybe they're not on the couch. I'm not sure where they were. They're back at home. And she says she didn't realize where the other couples were at. She just thought that they were down in the dumps and she realizes they're not doing as poor as she thought.
I feel like Claire has some sort of weird competitive streak in her, where she's like, "We're winning this.
Yeah,
Like, I can't believe we're actually winning."
right. We're going to the reindeer games.
It's like I was going to make a comparison to another CBS show. It's like when you're on The Amazing Race, you get to the pit stop and you realize you're actually first, and you thought you were in the back of the pack. You're like, wait, we're first?
Like, that took us hours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So she was like, she had a little pep in her step, seeing the other couples miserable. So he says at least they're talking about their problems. Because he heard from Becca and Austin that they're having major problems, but they're not talking about it. And Claire feels like Emily and Brennan aren't being specific enough about their issues. I was like, look at them all of a sudden.
To be in the Statler and Waldorf. That's sad when these two are the Statler and Waldorf of the season, commenting on other couples and talking ish. That's sad.
Exactly. And so then she feels like they're both really good at being honest. And he's like, he's been inspired by listening to Lauren and Orion. He's been inspired and considering himself a little bit more moving forward. He said he gets a confessional where he says he feels like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Listen, Cameron said, wait, we can quit? I didn't know we could quit. Y'all quit? We can do that? Oh, snap. Hold on. Claire.
You mean I don't have to be miserable?
Yeah. You want to quit? Sounds like it's the thing to do.
Right. He's like, if we all quit, they wouldn't have a season.
Right. They can't do anything to us. They can't punish us all. They can't fine us all.
If we all walk out right now, what's going to happen?
If we stand up and demand they give us new partners,
right?
What are they going to do?
Exactly. So he asked her if there's an adjustment they should make. She says she doesn't know. So Dr. Pia pays them a visit in her pink suit. She said, it's okay. She's like, all right, first thing I noticed, neither of y'all have your rings on.
Damn, bro. What? That's like the thing to do this season.
Mm-hmm. They said ring schming. Where is that?
Orion and Lauren gave us some pointers. Like, don't wear your rings.
Yeah, don't wear your rings. Just end it.
Yeah, we're gonna cause
They let us end it.
Yeah, so. We're gonna cause them a freak out if you don't wear your rings. Try it; they'll notice. Trust me.
He says their long-term viability is unfortunately not there.
Cameron never met a long word he didn't like. I'll tell you that right now. If there's a complicated way to say something, Cameron's gonna do it.
Right. Oh, Dr. Pia said, that's a very bold statement.
Dr. Pia said, all right, cut the cameras, get the mics off. Listen, y'all, I'm in a bind.
She said, I should not have been here on this day. This feels like a big day for a lot of y'all.
Listen, they're blaming the Lauren Orion thing on me because it happened on my watch. I cannot.
I just got this job.
They texted me the other day. They said the only thing they said is not too late for us to hire Devon. That's all they texted me. Okay, so I'm in trouble. Y'all cannot do this to me right now.
They texted me, "Hey Devon, you free?" And then said, "Oops. Wrong person."
Yes. So y'all cannot do this right now. You do this when you with Pastor Cal, when you with Dr. Pepper, if she ever shows up. Y'all do that with them. You can't do this to me, okay? You can't do this to me. Do you think, like at my job, right? When we're training new people, we have something called training mode. Mm-hmm. So whatever you do, it doesn't mess anything real up. Do you think this is Dr. Pia's training mode? They're like, this season's in the dumps. Just let her have at it. Just let her go.
Let the new girl take it.
Yeah, she's not gonna mess anything real up, so it's fine. Give her some experience. This is like a mulligan season. Whatever she does is not gonna cause any real harm.
She's like, y'all, I just left Emily and Brennan. Okay. That man didn't listen to a word I said.
Not a word. I need a win. I need a win right now. So when we cut these cameras back on, y'all are going to get with the program and y'all are not going to quit. Do you understand me? You're like, fine, go.
Oh my goodness. So he says they have fundamental disagreements about how to raise children. And she was like, Claire said there's a lack of romantic connection. She said they're not on the same page about the future or where they are right now. So like what can they do? And so he says he feels like they are compatible. He says she's the smartest, most mature person he's been in a relationship with. He feels heard. The more he's around her, the more he's attached. But he said it's time to protect Cameron because the future is bleak. Listen,
I respect it.
I get it.
I respect it.
He is actually like, yeah, we're like cracking jokes because he's fallen and we don't know why, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, like protect your peace, King. Like
Yes.
if you see heartbreak at the end of this, why not go ahead and be like, look, before I get in too deep and I start resenting you because things turn a different way, because I see where you're at. You're not where I'm at.
And here's the thing, right? Because this is all, you know, again, going back to the after party, there's apparently a lot more happening off camera that we don't know about. And I feel like because of this, Cam, it feels like she has made it clear to him that there's probably no future happening here.
Right.
That this is not going to work out. So he's trying to get her to say this on camera. Be like, be for real. You don't see this working, right? She's like, I don't know.
Right.
When we know, like an hour before the cameras got there, she's like, I don't even like you. Like, there's no way this is gonna work out. I don't know why we're still here.
Please leave.
And the cameras get there. She's like, I don't know. I miss you. And then like 2 hours ago, she's like, get the F out my face, leave the apartment.
Yeah.
And this is what Cam has to deal with. So
yeah. Claire says she feels like they both are not mentally where they want to be in this relationship and it's draining. And Dr. Pia, she says, it seems like y'all have tried everything, but what have y'all tried? She's like, I recommend y'all go back to what makes you work individually. Have fun, be in the moment. She said, take talking about sex, kids, religion off the table until you talk to the next expert.
Yeah, put that on them. Okay, not me. I knew.
I will not be back. So
I'm still in my 90-day probationary period. So I'm gonna need y'all to not get me fired. Okay. So put the big stuff on the big people that have been here for a while, not me.
We've literally seen more Dr. Pia than Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper talked to Claire and Cameron, and I think that's the only time we've seen her. Yeah.
She was like, what y'all been up to?
Yeah. So
Montre, Dr. Pepper, be for real.
Oh man.
And so Dr. P is like, I would really hate for this to be a missed opportunity. And so, try that, right? Cameron said, I'd be very disingenuous if I agreed to that right now. I'd really like to sleep on that advice.
Gosh, Cameron's a real one. Cameron's like, no.
He's like, that's nice and all.
Yeah. Dr. P is like, first I got Brennan talking about, no, I ain't going to therapy. And now I got Karen talking about, I don't think so.
Right.
Let me think about what you just said. I'm just not going to blindly agree to that. Like, wow.
She also had suggestions with Lauren and Orion that Orion was like, I think I'm going to stick to committing to the divorce.
Yeah. Dr. P is not doing great.
She's like, what is with these men? And then even with Austin and Becca, she's like, okay, well, Austin, let's try this, right? Then the next time she sees him, he's gonna be like, no, we still haven't done those little things I'm willing to do.
I didn't talk to her about anything, not once.
What is with them?
They do not respect Dr. Pia. Respect her.
Right. Oh my gosh. So they're back at home in their apartment. Well, they've been there already. They're on the couch, and he needs to know if she wants him to stay. She's like, well, I don't know what to do because you want to leave, right? He's like, no, I want to know what you want.
they try to put it on each other. Just like, so do you want me to leave or stay? She's like, I don't know. Do you want to leave or
You
stay? I
wanna
feel like you
leave.
want to leave, right? It's like, no, I feel like you want me to leave though. So it's really on you what you think.
My
Man.
goodness. She's like, well, like if you left, I'd miss you and I'd be sad.
Lies.
But she's like,
Lies.
but I also she's like, I don't want to force you to be here if like I don't want to like pressure you to stay. She says she doesn't know if she likes more just like a physical body being there or if it's Cameron.
He could literally be anyone, and
Yeah.
I miss you, I guess.
Right. I'd miss anyone being around. He said, well, for me, I've decided that this is unhealthy because I want to, he wants to love her, but he doesn't want them to hurt each other. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, do you feel a future with me? And it was in the middle of her saying like she didn't want him to feel pressure to stay or whatever. And she's like, well, okay, cutting me off pisses me off.
Do you say a future with me? Do you say a future with me? Do you say a future with me?
She's like, she finally is forced to answer and says, I don't know. She said, but Dr. Pia told us don't talk about the future.
So stop talking about the future because I don't want to answer the future questions.
Right.
Because I look like a bad person if I say I don't like you.
Right. That's what she thinks.
She's like, you trying to Brennan me? You can't Brennan me. I'm not getting myself Brennan.
He said, well, tonight I'm asleep in the spare bedroom. I'm the spare bed. And she's like, well, I just don't want you to have any resentment towards me. He's like, I don't yet.
No, he gets quiet. And she's like, oh, because the quiet means I'm starting to feel it. It's like,
right.
Like, I'm not there yet. But I mean, really intimates like, but we about there. We're almost there.
Right. We are on that route.
Yes. We're going to be there quickly.
Right. But on Afterparty.
Ooh.
You take it away. There's a lot said.
If I miss anything, you let me know because I feel like when I see the personification of spill the tea, right? I see someone like spilling a little like teacup of tea. Mm-hmm. Cameron, you know the scenes in these football movies where they like dunk the Gatorade can on coaches? Yeah. That was the tea. The tea was in that big old Gatorade jug, and he just threw it everywhere, spilled it everywhere.
Yes.
So we get into. We talked about she doesn't want him to touch her at all when she told him that off camera. So that's where he's getting all these kind of perceptions from that she doesn't want to get intimate. There's talk of the Slendergate comment, right? Because and let me tell you, Rudy deserves an Emmy for this after party right here because she dug into the dirt. Dug into it. And
they're like the Emmy nomination for Married at First Sight, episode 10, Afterparty.
Yeah. And she thought Cameron was going to give her the dirt, so she kept digging. She's like, give me more, give me more. So she says, well, listen, when Claire was here on Afterparty a while ago, she said that you made a comment about her not being your type because your type is a slender woman. He says, yeah, my type is a slender woman, but that is Claire. So that is who I find attractive. So I don't understand what the problem is. My thing is, again, more of this miscommunication, right? Because
that's exactly what that was. I literally can picture the conversation.
Yeah.
Like they're probably talking about like, what did you ask the expert for? He probably was like, yeah, I asked him for this, and a slender woman.
She's like, oh, well, I'm not slender,
Silence.
So I must not be your type. I mean, that goes to the kind of
assume that like, okay, well, he doesn't see me. There's no way he could see me as slender. And he sees her as slender.
And because he did not over communicate that to her is where they're missing each other. And that is their relationship in a nutshell.
She said, and that's why we're not going to work out.
Yeah.
He literally just tried to compliment her.
Yeah. And so he said, I do find her attractive. And Brennan who, was on Afterparty for the second time after being called out a while ago for not coming back. I thought we were never getting Brennan on Afterparty again.
Same.
But he was there.
And Cameron was there for the first time.
Yeah. And Brennan does back up Cameron. He says, yeah, to all the guys, he was just telling us nonstop about how attractive he thinks she is. And then Cameron says, I find her very attractive. And to this day, I still don't understand why Claire doesn't find me attractive.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Oh, so we are just done pretending that this worked out at all.
You know, they probably are like, it means to this day of episode 10.
No,
But
this means to
Cameron
this
very
day.
clearly sounded like to this day, as in December 22nd.
Right. To right now.
Right
that
now.
I'm speaking.
Mm.
So he says, I still don't understand why she doesn't find me attractive. We also talk about more about what Claire finds attractive. And Cameron says that Claire told him that what she finds attractive or what she dates, or what she wants to date, I don't know. It was unclear. He says that
What
she
her
likes,
usual type is.
her usual type is bigger, more athletic Black men. And
Because
Lauren,
he said he likes, because what he was describing is like a tall, dark, athletic, and Lauren black. Lauren
and
said
he
black
says,
men.
he says,
He's
yeah,
like, yeah.
he agrees.
Mhm.
And he says, and that's really weird. And Rudy's like, oh, why do you say that? Like, Rudy was about to be like, oh, what, you got a problem with Black men?
She's like, what do you mean by weird?
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not racist. I'm just saying all her exes are white guys. So what is this about? What's up with her usual type that she hasn't dated? So what's up?
Yeah.
Which is another weird thing. And then more tea, which is really kind of courtesy of Lauren, because we talk more about if he finds her attractive, blah, blah, blah. And Lauren says, well, that's funny, Cameron, because what Claire told me was that you told her that her butt was too big, and if y'all had sex, you wouldn't finish. She says another word,
right?
But you wouldn't finish.
Here goes Brennan. Are we on camera?
Pastor Cal raises his head up from behind one of the chairs, like, oh, say more about that. Say more.
Next after party, Pastor Cal is on. Like, you've never been on after party.
I heard there's some interesting conversations that take place here. I just want to know more. You say Claire likes Black men, do you?
I was like, there was too much going on.
You say Claire likes muscular Black men as he like shows off his biceps, like you say.
Right. First time not wearing a suit.
Yeah, he's got a tank top on. He's like, you say she likes muscular Black men, huh? Right. All right. So did I miss any of the other tea that you wanted to touch on?
Okay, so yeah, so it was a lot going on, right? Side note, Brennan, why are you so scared of the cameras? Why did you sign up for a television show? If you were, are we on camera? I was like,
is this being recorded? We know Brennan is so.
Rudy was like, "Oh yeah, it is."
It's just a heck yeah. I just love Rudy's like I don't know what. I feel like Rudy's like, am I having a stroke right now? Like, what is happening? This does not usually happen here.
The other thing he said was, he said he would open up to her off camera. And then when they were on camera, she would say the same thing back to him as if it was her own thought. I wish he gave examples. Because how?
That's extremely bizarre behavior, if that's true. Extremely.
Right. So I'm like,
she was like, what if before he got to say his dad thing, she's like, and my dad's got a collapsed lung.
Right. I was like, in what way is she doing this?
So I don't know what's true and what's not, because Cameron did not deny that he said that thing about her butt being too big and he wouldn't finish. He didn't deny that. I have my gut feeling is that Claire is definitely acting a way different way off camera. That is my gut feeling.
I can see that.
I don't know if everything he said was true or if there's more miscommunication going on between them to make them have different perceptions of what's being said and done. I think it's like the truth is somewhere in the middle, probably.
Yeah,
like most of these types of situations. But I feel like she's definitely acting different off camera. It's just a feeling I get, and I feel like she's someone that doesn't want to look bad on camera. She's like a Brennan, right? She doesn't want to look bad on camera. She doesn't want to fail, so she's not going to pull the plug early.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of merit to what Cameron is saying here on the after party.
Yeah. I could totally see her actually acting different. I was waiting for him to deny that, but we didn't see that. So I don't know. This feels like they both have their own reality or their own versions of the truth.
Yeah.
And hopefully we see more Cameron on the after party, because if this is what we get with Cameron on the after party.
Listen, it was worth the wait to get Cameron on after party, because that was something. That's something unlike we've ever seen on an after party before.
Can you imagine? You're a friend of Lauren, right? Your name happens to be Claire, and you're at home and you're watching this. You're like, what? Why are you saying everything I told you?
Yeah, why are you spilling my tea? I really want there to be a through line, and I want Rudy to grill Claire next time she's on after party about all this stuff. It doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah,
it happened this time with Rudy bringing back up the slender comment that Claire made on after party a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
So I hope we get more of that continuing war between Claire and Cameron through the after parties.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Okay, still to come. We did see Cameron and Claire go on a couple dates, so they're not calling it yet, and we did see them on decision day, but we didn't see anything in between. So
also on the more to come, more Michael.
Yes. But Dr. Pepper, Michael, and his friend's like, you said this was the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your personal life.
There for emotional support for Michael.
Right.
Now I did see some episode titles for our episodes coming up, and that would seem to suggest that we are due to get a Michael wedding.
Really?
Yes. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I don't think I can. But there was a drop about like what all the episode titles were, the upcoming schedule. And it mentioned something about Here Comes the Groom or something. And something about a honeymoon in the episode after that. So I think we're going to get a wedding and a honeymoon again.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. There's an article that says Dr. Pia failed Brennan on Married at First Sight. Did Brennan write this?
Probably.
I'm like, what are y'all talking about? It says Dr. Pia gave Brennan too much attitude. Get out of here. Because Dr. Pia wanted to criticize Brennan by saying he needed therapy. How is a therapist criticizing someone by telling them that oh my gosh. This is Dr. Pia made Emily feel uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh.
Who is this person? This article. Oh my gosh. I'll post it in the Facebook group.
I don't need therapy. I'm not crazy. I really think that's his like outlook on it. You trying to tell me I'm crazy? Say I need therapy?
Oh my gosh. It says the sit down with Dr. Pia proved to do more harm than good because Emily and Brennan argued after their session with Dr. Pia.
They argue all the time anyway.
Right. They had their first argument of the season.
Right. Like that's nothing new.
Oh my goodness. But yes, that's it. Those are our 4 couples. Maybe we are soon to have 5. We'll see. But thank y'all so much for sticking with us. Like I said,
those are our 3 couples and Lauren and Orion. Okay, yes. Let's get it right. Let's not put that into the universe and they're going to be a couple again.
Right. Oh, please no. And yeah, just like I said in the middle, be aware we will not be having a podcast next week because of they're doing this clip show. So we'll be back the following week to discuss episode 11. So stay tuned for that. And then, make sure you go join the Facebook group at Perfect Match Podcast, where the password this week is mastication. And make sure you go leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate it. So Jason, what are you up to these days?
Wrapped up the Gilded Age coverage over on Post Show Recaps last week. So if you're a Gilded Age fan, we had a couple of comments in the Facebook group asking how they can find it. It's on Post Show Recaps if you want to check it out. Also, over on Post Show Recaps, did a couple of year-end wrap-ups. I did one for HBO shows, and I did one for superhero shows and movies. I know Aysha's can't wait to get her hands on that one. Also, on the Rob Has a Podcast Network, I was on the 90 Day Fiance pod with Puya this week, talking about the main 90 Day Fiance. Had a blast over there. So check that out as well.
Awesome. And y'all can follow me everywhere at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA. Follow Malshi Poo Sisters on TikTok. I post a couple new TikToks. One is Christmas themed. I think it's great. The girls.
Let me get on that right away.
The girls got a grooming, and you know, they just looked really cute. So I put it on there. So yeah, go give them a follow. But yeah, we will see y'all with the next episode in 2 weeks. Bye.